This is Arthur. It's one of my favorite cartoons growing up as a kid, and a personal inspiration behind a lot of my writing. There's a lot to be talked about: the characters, the messages, the friendship dynamics, the memes.
I told you not to touch it!
Each episode has something special to add. Take Season 13's The Great McGrady, an episode all about a school staff member with cancer and everyone else reacting to it. It's an episode so nice, they actually made it twice. This is Season 24's The Great McGrady, an episode about a school staff member with cancer with everyone else reacting to it. Stop me when I sound familiar. At least with other episodes, while they do share a theme, the way they go about it is different. With this episode, other than a few touches, they are the same episode, word for word, beat by beat. At least for the most part.
There are 4 giant jars of homemade chicken soup in here. I can barely lift it. What about honey and stuffed animals and Mary Moo Cow DVDs?
There are 4 giant jars of homemade chicken soup in here. I can barely lift it.
What about honey and stuffed animals and Mary Moo Cow DVDs?
Which brings me to my topic of discussion. What makes this episode different, and why did PBS feel the need to make this episode twice? First things first, let's talk about the episode itself. Being a play on words on Preston Sturges' The Great McGinty, the episode is a two-parter with the school announcing that the beloved cafeteria lady, Mrs. McGrady, was diagnosed with cancer, a major shock to the rest of the kids. The episode explores different ways on how Arthur and his friends are coping with this, with Arthur and DW visiting McGrady at her house, Muffy slowly realizing the reality of her situation, and Francine coping with grief as she similarly lost someone to cancer. Eventually, the kids put together a charity bike race with the help of a local celebrity to raise money for cancer research. Keep this in your head, by the way. In the end, while she isn't totally cancer-free, she's at least healthy enough to head back to work. It's a dark, yet honestly a heartfelt episode, and it's written by Leah Ryan, a writer with her own experience with cancer diagnosis. It's also, sadly, her last written episode, hence the "in memory of" part at the very end. As if that wasn't sad enough, they stopped airing this episode on PBS in 2012, and it's all the fault of one bad bunny. Not that one.
You don't seem like someone who's had cancer.
Why is that?
I don't know. You're so healthy.
This is Lance Armstrong, a triathlete champion and a professional cyclist with stage 3 testicular cancer. Wait, what? At first, he seemed like a great guest celebrity as he was able to strive despite the cancer circumstances he was under. That was until he was caught using steroids during his races. It was due to the Lance Armstrong doping case that the episode was pulled from television. In the season 24 version, Armstrong is replaced with Uncle Slam, a fictional wrestler who also had cancer, and also joined the charity bike race. If that's the case, why didn't they have a charity wrestling event? Or why didn't they make a fictional triathlete instead? I guess we'll never know the answer. In the end, I get why they would pull this episode. I'm just curious on why they made an almost exact copy of it. It's a fine episode, all things considered, but making an exact replica of it does ultimately lose its charm, and it feels like PBS made it out of necessity. And also because the episode was made with Flash animation, but that's a whole other discussion. I think the team should have taken this opportunity to do something different. Maybe telling a story with someone else with cancer. Not that I would wish for someone to have cancer, that's just mean. Or they can be experimental and make a follow-up of that episode, maybe calling out Lance Armstrong on his cheating, and then we can have Arthur and friends beat him up for it. Okay, maybe that's not the best message on a kid's show, but you know, if an aardvark ever told me to not use drugs and threatened to come to my house and beat me up, you know, I think I will not use drugs. I guess in a way I'm saying, please, Mark Brown, let me write one of these episodes. I'll do such a good job. I know the show ended, but maybe we can have like a small reboot as like them as teenagers or something. Guys, I swear I'm not obsessed. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And interestingly, this isn't the only time this show re-released an episode. They made a re-release of Season 2's Arthur's Knee, likely due to it including blood, although it was never actually remade to the same degree that this episode did. So in conclusion, The Great McGrady remains a staple amongst the rest of the series, although sadly, not for its message. Okay, series time's over. Here's a quote that I thought was funny.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
All right, that's it. Bye. Thank you.